DJ Khaled. Convict music. We the best. Yeah. We taking over. Listen.
Hi, so today I'm going to talk about the Chinese and Indian space programs. I'm going to start off with the Chinese space programs. So first, the Chinese space program actually began as a ballistic missile program back in the 50s. And the reason it began as this is because China felt very threatened by US's many advancements in technology. And then in 1993, their Ministry of Aerospace Industry split into two groups. One, the CNSA, and two, the CASC. Okay, and the CNSA stands for the China National Space Administration, and it's basically China's version of NASA. And then the CASC is the China Aerospace Corporation. So the CNSA is responsible for policy, while the CASC is responsible for execution. Some of like the policy responsibilities that the CNSA are responsible for are signing agreements, intergovernmental exchanges, and enforcing national space policies, like with other countries. So some of their like great accomplishments. Well, first off, China became the third country ever to launch a human into space. The first being Russia, and the second being the U.S. And that happened on October 15, 2003. The shuttle that went to space was named the Shenzhou 5, and it was flew by Yang Liwei. And then the Shenzhou 1 through 4, the ones that came before this one, were all unmanned, and those began in 1999. The Shenzhou 5 mission lasted 21 hours, 22 minutes, and 45 seconds. And it completed 14 orbits. Currently, the CNSA are working on 4 major projects. One, the Tiangong 1, which is a space lab module that was launched in 2011. Two, the Chang'e 3, which is a lunar lander and rover, and that was launched in 2013. And then also in 2013, they launched their second manned mission, which is the Shenzhou 10. And then their fourth, which is what they're currently focusing on right now, is the Chinese Lunar Exploration Program. And that's a robotic moon mission, or like a group of robotic moon missions. So they want to send robots to the moon to get reserves of metals and potential fuels from the moon. An example of one of these potential fuels is helium-3. This can be found on the moon, and the Chinese believe that it's a very potential nuclear energy source. The Chinese space program's major goal is to complete the Chinese space station by 2020, which is actually when the International Space Station is supposed to close. And that's pretty much it for China. The Indian space program is called the Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO. This was established in 1969 after the Indian National Committee for Space Research. So it kind of took over for that. They built India's very first satellite, which was called the Aryabhata, and this was launched on April 19th, 1975. Their satellite, Rohini, was their first satellite to be placed into orbit. Also, they created the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle and the Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, which does what you think. The Polar launches satellites into polar orbits, and the Geosynchronous launches satellites into geostationary orbits. The first mission to the moon was called Chandrayaan-1, and it was launched on October 22nd, 2008. Their primary goal is to advance space technology and implement its uses for the benefit of India. So, like, national benefit. So, not the U.S. Guess we're not good enough. They plan to launch a manned spaceflight program 7 years after they get their funding. And if this is the case, they will become the 4th country to carry out manned missions, like after China. And along with these manned missions, they plan on sending unmanned missions to Mars and other near-Earth objects. And those are like their main objectives for the next decade or so. All in all, I do not believe that India can complete their goals before we, the US, accomplish ours, because they are already so far behind. They've done everything way after everybody else, including China. But on the other hand, China may very well complete theirs because they have already found a very potential fuel source, which is one of their goals, helium-3. Although I am not sure that they will be able to, make helium-3 into a reliable nuclear power source. And I'm not sure they'll be able to complete the Chinese space station by 2020, but who knows. And that was my take on the Chinese and Indian space programs. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.